and welcome to the first of 3 OBJH community forums. We're excited to have the opportunity to connect with you via YouTube this evening. In order to answer questions you may have as we approach the start of the new school year. Joining me tonight are Rachel Torazi, who is our new assistant principal, as well as Marianne Marshall, who is our executive director of instructional programs, Kelly Neely, who is our director of curriculum and instruction, as well as Brenda Trogstad, who is, in addition to being our executive director of business and operations, will be directly supporting the mission of OBJH this year, and as such is an honorary Timberwolf. Tonight, we'll be addressing your questions via YouTube chat, email, and by phone. We will do the best to answer as many questions as we can during the next hour, but please do know that we will make contact with you to provide you with answers to the questions that you have, regardless of whether or not we are able to address them during this forum. We will have 2 additional forums on Thursday, August 20th, and Thursday, August 27th. Both will be from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Emails and reminders will be sent as we approach those dates. Also, we want you to know that we are available to answer your questions at any time. You can reach me, Mario Juves, principal of Oakland Bay Junior High School, at mju, V as in Victor, es@sheltonschools.org. Please stand by for a few moments while I deliver this message in Spanish. Hola y bienvenidos al primero de los 3 foros comunitarios de Oakland Bay Junior High School. Estamos encantados de tener la oportunidad de conectarnos contigo a través de YouTube esta noche para responder a las preguntas que puedas tener a medida que nos acercamos al inicio del año escolar. Esta noche se reúnen conmigo Rachel Torazi, nuestra subdirectora nueva de Oakland Bay Junior High School. También tenemos a Marianne Marshall, la directora ejecutiva de programas de instrucción, Kelly Neely, nuestra directora de currículo e instrucción, y así como Brenda Trogstad, quien además de ser directora ejecutiva de negocios y operaciones, apoyará directamente a la misión de Oakland Bay Junior High School este año y como tal es un Timberwolf honoraria. Esta noche abordaremos sus preguntas a través del chat de YouTube y correo electrónico. Haremos todo lo posible para responder a la mayoría cantidad de preguntas que podamos durante la próxima hora, pero tengan en cuenta que nos pondremos en contacto con ustedes para brindarle respuestas a sus preguntas independientemente de si podemos o no abordarla durante este foro. Tendremos 2 foros adicionales el jueves 20 de agosto y el jueves 27 de agosto. Ambos serán entre las 5 y las 6 de la tarde. Se enviarán correos electrónicos y recordamientos por teléfono ya que cerquemos a la fecha. También queremos que sepa que estamos disponibles para responder a sus preguntas en cualquier momento. Pueden comunicarse conmigo, Mario Juves, director de Oakland Bay Junior High School. Mi dirección de correo electrónico es mjub@sheltonschools.org. So let's begin with some questions that we've already been receiving from the community. Questions that have been received by our Spanish speakers in the last hour. One of the questions is, where can we access the information about when school starts and what our students will need in order to be prepared for school? So let me go ahead and let you know that our school, the very first day of school, will be Wednesday, September 2nd. And the information with regards to when school starts, as well as all the other information you're going to need for the year, as far as when the holidays are, PLCs, can be found on the school district's webpage. If you look under the link for calendars, you'll be able to access a 1-page view. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's also a copy that has more than just 1 page. It's bigger. There are also copies in Spanish as well. So that's where you could find the actual calendar. It is on the school webpage. If you are having difficulty with that, please do contact us, and we will get that to you. Another question that was presented by through our Spanish line earlier was, when will we know if our kids will be coming to school? So the answer to that question is what Dr. Apostle and the school board had presented earlier. We are approaching this through 3 stages. So stage A is going to be where our students are learning completely remotely from home. Stage B is where we will transition to hybrid learning. Students would attend school for 2 days of the week, and they would do at-home learning for 3 days of the week. And then finally, stage C will be when we actually are back to normal, where we're actually back to a 5-day school week. Ms. Tarazi, do we have any questions on your end from the phone lines?
We actually don't, not yet, Mr. Hubez.
Okay. And do we have anything on the YouTube chat?
Not currently.
Okay. And if you'll bear with me, folks, you can see I'm looking at the email line through another device. So, okay, we do have a question from a community member. The question is, what are you going to do for the kids who are special needs, who are unable to learn via the internet? So I'll tell you what we're doing here at OBJH. So right now, what we're doing is we're taking a look at the master schedule that was created prior to Ms. Tarazi and my arrival to the school. The team, the OBJH team, did a phenomenal job of creating the master schedule. We're taking that and we're looking at it and basically looking what that's going to look like for stage A and stage B. Our goal really is to make sure that we minimize the amount of transitions and new things that the kids will have to go through. So within that, one of the things that we're looking at is our special populations, students for various reasons who perhaps learning from home is going to be extremely challenging. Now, I can tell you that there are teams looking at those case by case right now. At this point, I'd like to open the opportunity for Ms. Neely or Ms. Marshall to comment further if they would like.
So our Director of Special Ed, Jenny Lafreniere, is working with her special ed teams right now to review all of the documents for each child in each situation. So it will be different for a lot of kids, depending on what the needs are. And if you're not sure about it, you can probably get most of your answers from Jenny if you just email her. And her email address is on our Q&A document posted on the website.
Okay, thank you. Second question. Okay, we have a new one here too. Sports. Will there be sports this year? So the short answer to that, and this is based on the latest information I have, is that the WIAA will not be having sports until 2021. That's information I got yesterday. So based on that, it looks like we will not be having competition sports until 2021. But I do want to say this, we have a phenomenal new member to our Shelton School District team, Mark Smith. He is our new athletic director for K through 8. I got to tell you, this is a phenomenal person. He's really committed to seeing not only the athletics at K through 8 be expanded, but is highly committed to the idea that students have extracurricular activities that support the learning of the whole child. So I personally, I'm really excited to have him on board. And I know that as soon as possible, as soon as it's able, he will want to get our kids back engaged in sports, in extracurricular activities. So please stay tuned for that. You'll hear a lot of great things coming from him once the situation changes. Ms. Tarazi, anything on the YouTube channel?
There's not, but I apologize. There's one, but I actually have a phone call question.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. So we actually have a 7th grader who would like to know when all the students get to meet their teachers.
That is a great question. So thank you for asking that. I will tell you this, what makes my work supporting this community phenomenal is the fact that they are so far ahead of everything. It is phenomenal. I can tell you right now that there are all kinds of conversations occurring because we realize that the world is what it is right now, but we want everyone, our kids, we want our teachers, we want our parents to be able to come to our school. So we are really looking at and are going to be implementing a form of, we'll call it virtual open house, virtual meet and greets with our teachers. That is something that that honestly we are all committed to. In fact, I'll let you know that this morning in a meeting when we were talking, that actually came up. So that's a great question. Please do know that that is something that everyone wants to happen, and it will be happening soon. But we need a little bit of time because, as you can imagine, we got to figure out how we're going to make it work great, but also safely. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, I would like to encourage you to go visit the virtual T-Wolf summer camp that the teachers and the counselors created. So that's something that they did as school began to end, as a way of getting you and all the fellow students to be involved in the school life, in the school culture, to stay active during the summer. And I actually have a web link. I'm going to go ahead and tell it to you, but do me a favor. If you got with your email, you can email me, Mr. Juves, and I'll send it to you directly, okay? But here's the link. It is https://YYTQLDRR. And again, you know what? If you didn't have a pen or pencil or anything around, don't worry. Just shoot me an email, and anybody who would like information about that, shoot me an email and I will send that to you gladly. It's actually really cool. I will tell you a personal story, and that is that I now know how to use Bitmojis thanks to it. So it's a good time. So yes, stay tuned. You will get to meet your teachers, you will get to meet us, and you will get to virtually come visit us at the school. And we look forward to the day when virtual is real time. Okay. I'm not seeing any questions right now in the email. Do we have anything on YouTube?
We do.
Okay.
We have a question regarding, will parents receive any kind of materials or textbooks for the K-12 program? And in conjunction with that, it's how long will students be expected to be on the screen? Is it for the entire day, or what does that look like?
Excellent. So that's a really good question. So let me start with the second one first. So the idea of how long the students will be, let's just say in class, right? So what we're doing is this: the schedule that we're making, like I had mentioned earlier, is going to be one that is easily we can easily transition from stage A to stage B to stage C. The students will be engaged as far as classes during the normal class time. So our goal is, what we're going to be doing is basically your student will have a schedule. It'll say, for example, first period, let's just say ELA, 7th grade ELA, and your student will be able to log on at that time. So what we're going to be doing is essentially running the school as normal as far as the schedule goes. But instead of actually being in the classrooms physically, they'll be in it virtually. And I will go ahead and add on something else, because one of the things that we've been talking about and realizing is that, you know, this is a very difficult time for everybody, but it also provides opportunities. And one of the things that I'm actually looking forward to is the fact that we know that sometimes people aren't feeling well. Sometimes there are things that might be going on. We're looking at being able to have students access that information if for some reason they're not able to actually make the class. Now, we do need to be in the class, don't get me wrong, but this provides us the opportunity to be able to do something that we haven't successfully done before, which is really to provide the knowledge and the content to students at their pace, shall we say, when they're not able to actually be physically in the school that day. Ms. Neely or Ms. Marshall, would you like to comment any further?
So, excuse me, I'm so sorry. The days for the students, like Mario said, are run like a normal day. They don't and won't be in front of the computer the whole time. Now, the materials are all embedded. It's not like you're going to get boxes of books or anything like that. They're all embedded within the program. So everything will be on the screen. The worksheets or any sort of work that they have to do are in fillable documents. You can run them off if you want to, if you have a printer at home, but you don't have to. That's not required. They're all right there within the actual program. So the kids, as Mario said, if they can't make the live lesson, we're taping it, we're recording it, we're going to put it online. The kiddos can watch it later in the evening if they need to, Or like, let's say it's a math lesson, they sat through the live one, but they're still struggling a little bit, they can go back and watch that later again for additional help. So that, you know, and within the day, we're giving out schedules to the kids. Lunches are built in, things like that, but that's all really flexible. The part that's not so flexible is if you want to catch the live lesson. But again, it will be recorded.
Okay, thank you very much. So there was a question that was sent to me from one of our on the line that I'm monitoring right now earlier, and the question was, what supplies do I need? Like, what do I need to buy for my kid? Do they need do they need books? Do they need pens? Do they need markers? So do they need textbooks? So you addressed that, Ms. Neely, when you talked about the fact that, you know, the things will be embedded into the programming. With regards to the pen paper supply, the work will be done online. So at this time, because of the fact that we're in a virtual learning model, what I told the family was, look, I'm not foreseeing you needing to buy construction paper and markers at this time. But please do know that we do have the 3 stages, A, B, and C. Once we move to the hybrid version, and then definitely when we move to the actual kids being back full time, that's when we'll need to take a look at, you know, teachers providing families with what supplies they need and what will be used for the learning process at that time. And I would say probably, please correct me if I'm wrong with this, Ms. Neely, but I would say probably that wouldn't even be a concern too much in stage B. Our intention is to use K-12 in stages A and B. That would tend to come in more into play when we get into stage C.
Correct.
Thank you very much. And okay, so here's the question I got. So the question, and it's in Spanish, so I'll say this. The question is, will there be a Spanish version of this meeting? The answer is yes, we really do want to do that. And as you guys know, and I've met many of you and spoken with many of you today, I do speak Spanish. The issue with tonight is the fact that we do have our representatives for our EL families, our liaisons. They currently are not back at work. So we're a little bit limited, which, by the way, is a reason why you may see me or hear from me in some other the community forums with some other schools, because I've offered to help them out with translations. But because I'm the one speaking tonight, I thought it would be a little bit difficult if I kept answering the phone while we were streaming. So that's the reason why tonight we're not doing English and Spanish together. We're already in conversations with people at our school, and then we've been working with some other schools on ideas on how moving forward we can begin to perhaps, and again, we're looking at some things right now, but an idea that was proposed today was, can we find a way of streaming audio while people watch the community forums, but they can listen to it in their language of choice. That's an option that was talked about today. So please do know that we are working on that. In the meantime, we're going to do everything within our power to make sure that we're fully inclusive. And I've spoken with many of you today. You have my information, and I will be following up with some of the conversations we had today. And I'm looking forward to learning more about how we can be supportive of you and your students during this time and when we're back to quote unquote normal times. So we're committed, I'm committed, everyone's committed. Tonight was really about doing the best we could based on the circumstances. So I appreciate those of you who I spoke with understanding that and thanking me. Please do note that this is not just me, this is a team effort. And please do know that there's a big team of people who are working on improving this access moving forward. So thank you for that. Anything on phones or YouTube chat, Ms. Tarazi?
Yes, Mr. Hubas, I have 3 questions.
Sure.
So the first question is an attendance question. Students log in with their schedule in the morning, and then if they're not there, are they marked absent?
That's a good question. So I'm going to actually ask Ms. Marshall to chime in a bit. I know that you've been in some of those conversations with what the state is going to be, or maybe Ms. Neely Ms. Neely might want to chime in. But I know that you have been more in conversations with what OSPI is looking for, and there's still some kind of conversations as to what they're going to be requiring the school districts to do to keep track of attendance. For my part, I will tell you this, that Ms. Marshall, Ms. Neely, and Dr. Apostle have made it very clear that attendance is important. It is one of the key principles of our district, one of the key things that we view as success for students. And we're going to do above and beyond to make sure that we have kids engaged. So with that, I'll defer to Ms. Marshall if perhaps you want to elaborate or expand.
Thank you, Mr. Huves. So as you know, here in the Shelton School District, we are dedicated to improving our attendance throughout our schools. And so what I know about the K-12 program is if a student is not logging on, it's going to track that. So every time a student logs on for the day, it will track it. We will get that information at the building level and the district level. What Mr. Huves and his team will do is they'll get that information. And if we're starting to see students who are not showing up to class and are not logging in, our school counselors, their teachers, the administration, they're going to reach out to you and connect. That means that might be through an email, through phone. If we've got to drive to your location to check in on you to see what's going on, we are dedicated to do that. So the expectation is that you're going to log in every single day. It's going to track your attendance. And just like at school, if you don't show up, you're going to get a phone call and we're going to try to connect with you to say what's going on and how can we help.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. And let me tell you that I will tell you that for those of you who do not know that for the last 4 years prior to being asked to serve as a principal of Oakland Bay Junior High School, I was the assistant principal at Shelton High School. And I can tell you there was one time when we had a senior who all he needed to finish up was to actually do his presentation. Excuse me. So I drove to his house and just kind of politely went, try to speak to him. He was not home and that was done. But, we really are invested in our kids, and that's not just OBJH, that's the entire school district. And, when we say that, we're willing to go the extra mile, some of us are willing to go the extra 9 miles. So just know that that's who we are. And you're going to find that no matter what school you go into in this district. Any other YouTube messages or questions? You said you had 3.
There is. Thank you. One has been answered. Another one here, roughly how many kids do you anticipate per Zoom class?
It's a good question. That's a good question. So I'm going to defer to Ms. Neely and Ms. Marshall. My understanding, I know what the class count is for the regular stage C, shall we say. I shouldn't say regular, say stage C. That is something I think that you have a little more insight on.
It's however many kids are assigned to that class. So if it's a language arts class, I don't know, the size is usually 28.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, whoever's in your normal class.
That's what I was assuming, but I wanted to make, before I said, I want to make sure that was the correct answer. So thank you for that, Ms. Neely. I appreciate it.
There may be some different situations where it's a smaller group or even a larger group. Let's say all of the English teachers are working on a project together with the class. They might invite everybody to a big Zoom meeting, and one person may be doing some instructing and the other 3 teachers are helping, answering questions. It's almost like they would be roving around the room, but there's no room. Mm-hmm. And, looking for kids with their hands up and who need help. So.
And Ms. Neely, if you don't mind me asking a quick question, Ms. Neely, I'm sorry, Ms. Marshall, but Ms. Neely, one of the things that I've been seeing through K-12 and in my exploration of it and looking at it, but broader with just the general idea of doing the virtual learning, it really does provide some really good opportunities to try some proven research proven education methods that perhaps in the past have been challenging.
Yeah, and I mean there are lots of great opportunities with this too, and the program has some really interactive things like polls and they're almost like games that can pop up that the teacher can use. So there's a lot of different really cool things that are engaging at the same time that we don't always get to use in the classroom. And like a poll is really hard to do when the kids aren't supposed to have their phones out and connecting that way. So lots of cool things that they can do.
Ms. Marshall, I think I interrupted you by accident. Did you want to add or?
No, between you and Miss Neely, you said what I was gonna.
Okay, great. And Ms. Tarazi, you said there are 3 questions, so one of them got answered, and then we addressed the other 2. Are there any other ones on YouTube chat?
I think we're good right now.
Okay. Do we have any phone calls?
We don't.
So I'm wondering if now's a good time to kind of talk about some things going on at the school. So what we decided was we really want to use this opportunity as well while we're waiting for questions and phone calls to come in, to kind of give you guys a little bit of information, some things going on at Oakland Bay Junior High School. So one of the things I want you guys to know is the fact that there is a survey that the district has put out. People have been sent emails. There have been some reminders about this, and there's also on the district website. So if you have not had the chance yet to take that survey, we would really love for you guys to do that. And if for some reason you're having difficulty accessing the web page or the information, will you shoot me an email and I'll just get that out to you, because we really need your input on this information. And Mr. Rossi, did you know that we still have some yearbooks from last year that were not picked up?
Didn't know that.
I didn't know that either until recently, but you know what? These are yearbooks that people paid for and they still haven't gotten them. So I think a good idea would be to ask people, if you still have not gotten your yearbook from last year, give us a call. Let's have an appointment. Let's get you your yearbook, because you know what? Those are memories that you're going to remember for the rest of your life, and we want to make sure that you get those. And I got good news though, Mr. Rossi. You know what I found out?
What did you find out?
I found out that we actually have some more yearbooks that are on sale, like from last year. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you are like, wow, I really wanted a yearbook and I didn't get one, or you're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna give one as a present to somebody. Hey, give us a call. We'll set up an appointment. We'll let you know about how it costs, and we'll make sure we can arrange to get that to you. Our schools are closed, but that doesn't mean that we are. So please, again, like we said, you can reach out to us via email. But if you call the school line while the schools during the school day, it will be answered. It may go to voicemail, but we will get back to you. So if you're interested in the yearbooks, either to pick yours up or to purchase one, please reach out to us. We will make appointments. We will make sure we can get that to you. Any questions yet again on the YouTube or on the phone?
I actually do have one, Mr. Hubas.
Great.
The question is regarding the lessons. Will the lessons be online for the length of the trimester?
Will the lessons be online? I'm wondering, so the way I'm hearing that question is, and it could be incorrect, but the way I'm hearing that question is, for example, if I have a lesson that I posted for Wednesday, September 13th, will that stay on there for the duration of the trimester? That's how I'm interpreting it. Are you interpreting the same way or a little bit differently?
I can seek clarification.
Okay.
It sounds like to me that they're asking about whether we'll be all online for the entire trimester.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, so then maybe we address both of them then. So let's start with Ms. Neely's interpretation. So we need to remember that that really this is dependent on what the conditions are in our community, in our state, and honestly on our planet. The stage A, stage B, we would love, I think all of us would love, we'll say, okay, come October 14th, we're gonna go stage B, because we just have the data to show that things will be of such a nature for that to happen. Unfortunately, we're not there. So we do not know how long we'll stay in stage A. We don't know when stage B will happen, and we're all looking forward to the day when we go to stage C. So from that perspective of the question, no, it won't be like we're going to do stage A for the first trimester and the second trimester. It won't be based off of trimesters. It'll be based off of the actual conditions in the world and in our community and the guidance from the state, OSPI, and the health department. With the first one though, if, for example, I'm teaching a class and, I have a lesson and, I'm teaching it, will students have access to that, later on if they need to go back to it? Well, I don't know the answer to that. Ms. Neely, do you? I would assume probably so though, right? Because we would be able to have, people could have access to the lessons if they're not there live.
Yes, they'll be there for quite a while,
Okay.
but with everything, it's teacher discretion as well.
Sure.
So how long is, are we leaving this open? how many times have we attempted it, that sort of thing. So if what we don't want to happen is for a kiddo to get behind and have to try to catch up and then keep pace doing that at the same time. That's going to be really rough. So you can't wait to the end of the trimester or the end of the month or whatever it is, and then try to do all of the assignments at once. That's not going to be a good idea.
Okay.
And if I can just add to that, Mr. Hubis?
Yes, ma'am.
To clarify, it was asking if assignments would be posted for the entire trimester. So if a student needed to turn in missing assignments, would they still be available the entire time? So that was the clarification.
Okay, I think Ms. Neely addressed that.
Yep, thank you.
Yep. Okay. So I do have, one of the calls that came in earlier was, what do we do if we still don't have good English skills? So let me go ahead and give you an answer to that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to continue to support what we've been doing. Just because we're virtual does not mean that we're not still working on learning our English, and that we are not going to be connected with the knowledge that we need to have to be successful. Please know that. This in no way changes at all our commitment to any of our students. It does not change our commitment to making sure that every single member of the Timberwolf family, and by extension, every single member of our district, is able to reach their fullest and highest potential. We are working very hard, and honestly, we want to work with you. One of the reasons why we're doing the open forum is because we want to make sure that we're hearing the questions that are of concern to you, so that we can make sure that on our end, if there's anything that we perhaps need to look more deeply into, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Okay. YouTube questions or phone calls?
Yes, there's a question here.
Sure.
It is, will students be assigned an advisory teacher or just individual teachers for the school year?
That's a great question. So we're actually, let me say this. We're going to be providing kids supports. When we talk about them having the 4 core classes that they're going to be working with, that doesn't mean that they're not going to be getting additional supports, and not just in academics. We're looking at additional supports in all areas, because school isn't just, I mean, academics are important, please don't get me wrong, but to do a good job, to do the job of creating successful students, let me backtrack. I'll just say this. My belief is this: the job of the school is to create opportunities. And that is the business we're in. We're in the business of creating opportunities for our kids. And it is not limited to just academics. It extends to the opportunities to engage in social activities, sporting, and having the natural development that kids need to have based on their age group. We're looking at, when we look at our schedule right now, we're looking at how can we use what we have as far as the blocks of time to provide those supports. So with that, please note that, yes, we are committed to making sure that your kids do have the academic supports that they need. I feel like I might not have fully answered that question, though. Was that the question?
I think so. I'll get back to you. I do have 2 additional questions if you're ready.
Sure.
Oh, Rachel, can you wait for just a second? I want
Yes.
to back up to Mario, that question before this, that asked about support if your English is a little shaky or you're having some problems with it. We still are providing EL support as well. So all of the students who are EL will also get that support.
Yep.
And then there's always an opportunity to reach out and ask for additional help, always.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Neely. Okay. Is there another question?
So that answered one of them. The other one is, will we continue with the WIN program? I'm sorry if I missed that you answered that.
No, I didn't answer that question. So for those of you who need to know, who don't know, WIN stands for what is needed. And it's a program that we have to where students who need additional supports in certain areas. Let's say, for example, I need some extra help with math. There's just some things in math that, regardless of all the good efforts I'm doing and my teacher doing good efforts, I just need a little bit of extra help. So then I would be put into a math WIN class, and there the goal would be to be able to give me specifically what is I need, hence the name WIN, to be able to get me to the standard that we all know that I need to get to. And that's something that we have in our traditional schedule. Right now, I will tell you that as part of our looking at what this is going to look like, we are looking at, is the traditional win going to be the best thing for us in the virtual environment or not? So the actual implementation of those specialized supports we're looking at, but the commitment to making sure the kids have what they need to be successful is going to be there. Okay, any other YouTube or phone questions?
Not at this time, sir.
Okay, so I don't have any in the email yet, new ones yet. So Miss Tarazi, got a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you know that some kids, unfortunately, were not able to pick up all the things that they left in their lockers at the end of the year or in
Really?
March?
Oh.
Yeah. Basically, if you remember, we all know this, is like March 13th, they came out and said, yep, schools are closing down. So people left like shoes and, all kinds of shirts and all kinds of really, personal belongings.
I hope it wasn't their favorite shoes.
I hope so too. I hope it wasn't their favorite shoes either. But I will tell you this, though, the good news is that we have awesome custodians and an awesome team, and they actually went through and collected the things from the kids' lockers and had them prepared for them, and they came to pick them up. You want to hear something really interesting, though?
Yeah.
There's still some people who have not picked up their stuff. So I'm wondering if we can just go ahead and ask those people out there who have not collected their stuff from last year, can you reach out to us? Give us a call at 360-426-7991 or email me, mjuves at sheltonschools.org. And what we can do is this, we'll set up an appointment to make sure you get what you need from your locker if you haven't gotten it yet. Okay, anything on the YouTube?
I do have a question here.
Excellent.
Do the students have to be logged in live at each class hour, or is the class work something they can get finished throughout the day?
So I will tell you what my understanding is, but I will ask Ms. Neely to expand, or if need be correct. The way we are proceeding forward is, so just for example, let's say that the math class is 57 minutes long. So that's what the kids would be with online, the 57 minutes, right? But then we're going to also have some kids who need some additional supports with math. So that will be provided. Now, that being said, we want to make sure that the kids have ample opportunities to not only get the help they need, but to get the work they need to show mastery of the content done. So there will be more need than just the 57 minutes, but we're gonna be embedding that into students' schedules throughout the day. And again, if a student is unable to make the class for whatever reason, they will be able to access it after the fact. Ms. Neely, is there anything else you would like to add to that?
I'm wondering if what they're thinking is how we do attendance at the beginning of each period and all of that. That probably won't be happening. But the teacher will see who is logged in. And let's say I'm at home sick and I can't get logged into all those classes, but I log in later in the evening. And so once I've logged in for that day, it will probably count as being here and attending. I can only say probably because we're still waiting for a little bit of guidance from the state, but the attendance is going to be a little bit more flexible. It's really difficult to say to a family with 5 kids who are at 5 different places and different schools and pulling down the internet, the broadband all at once. You have to be here at a certain time. So that's why we do have the live and the recorded and then the lessons there. But you can't do it without the teacher at some point. You have to have that teacher contact.
Okay, thank you. Any phone questions? Any questions off of the YouTube?
I do, and I want to apologize to this parent. They asked it earlier and I missed it, so forgive me. Thank you for asking it again. So the question is, moving forward, will the forums be publicized? Yes. So the way we publicized this one was, in addition to letting the district know what dates we had selected, I sent an email out through School Messenger on I believe it was Monday,
and then followed up with a email yesterday, as well as a robocall informing people of the meeting. I'm wondering though, if the person who has a question, if they did not receive any information via school messenger, either through email or through the robocall, I'm wondering if maybe, obviously not live on YouTube, but if maybe we can get that information privately, perhaps even email it to me, so we can ensure that their information is in the system, so that moving forward, they will be able to do that. And I will let you know this, that we're moving forward, we will be posting information on the school Facebook page. I will apologize for that now. Again, being new to the school, there are things I'm learning. So I will let you know that I am meeting with our media director, and we'll be able to have access to the school's media, and we will be using all those resources to get the message out. Again, if you did not receive the robocall or the messages on Monday or Wednesday, please do let us know, because that means probably we don't have your contact information, and we want to make sure we get that. Okay. Any other questions on YouTube? Any phone call questions?
Not at this time.
Okay, I am looking at the email, and what I've noticed is that there seems to be a small glitch on my end. It is refreshing from time to time, but for some reason it's not all the time. So if you have sent an email question and it has not been responded to, please do know, regardless of whether it's during this forum or not, we will get back to you. We will get you an answer. So I talked a little bit about the T-Wolf camp. So let's see. Let's see what's some other interesting things going on in our school that we can talk about today. All right. So we talked a little bit about the fact that you know, when we talk about the school building being closed, that doesn't mean that we're closed. And again, you know, please do reach out to us, call the main school line during the school hours. Your call will be answered. We do have that transferred, and people will answer it. And if they don't, please leave a message and we'll get back to you. And of course, you can email myself and Ms. Tarazi too. Ms. Tarazi is available to provide supports as well. Ms. Tarazi, have you had a chance to check out the T-Wolf camp yet?
I have. I've gone into and clicked on some of the different, like the fire, you know, different doors and can't, I mean, yeah, so fun. And we have to give credit to Miss Adams.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And who is Miss Adams? So for those people who will be joining our school for the first time this year.
Okay. Oh, we are so lucky. She is our 7th grade counselor. So, oh.
She is indeed. Now, I gotta tell you, honestly, when I went to check it out, like, it was so cool. And honestly, like, Miss Adams' knowledge of technology, I mean, Miss Adams' knowledge of pretty much everything is phenomenal. But they included, believe it or not, a spooky story reading section in the campfire. I'm telling you, it's spooky. So let me just warn you, don't be by yourself with the lights out, because it can get a little scary. Okay. All right. It looks like.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I just get I want to clarify this question one more time. It was in regards to whether or not our students would have an advisory teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Yes. So yes. So we have an advisory program. They have an advisory program. They will be assigned advisory. What I want to make sure that we understand, though, is that we're really looking at this as an opportunity to be able to maybe perhaps do things a little bit different, more research-based, perhaps, that to support kids. So I don't want to commit to saying that the schedule is going to look exactly the same as it always has, because of the fact I want to make sure that we're not closing doors, right? That we keep doors open. But I will say this, each kid will have at least an adult that they're able to connect with and that they're able to build that relationship with. Okay. I have a question that just came through. It says, how are we going to help prepare 8th graders to be mentally and socially prepared for high school? That's a great question. So I will tell you this, that when we talk about whether it be virtual or whether it be in real-time stage C learning, learning isn't just about the academics. When we think of schools, we think about academics, but it really is more to that, right? It's about also developing the social-emotional skills and also the behavioral skills that one needs to be successful as part of that transition in life. So those commitments have not changed. We're still going to be fulfilling that obligation, that duty, and that honor. What that's going to look like is it'll look a little bit different, but it doesn't change the fact that it's going to be equally as important and we're equally as committed. Our school currently uses Second Step as a social emotional learning curriculum that we use, and we will continue to use, but we're going to look at ways of expanding, and more importantly to where we're at right now in as far as the learning process goes. We can't think of the social emotional supports or the behavioral supports for our students within the box of they are with us. So they are with us, but they're not physically in the building. So one of the things that we are challenged to do, and we're rising the challenge, not just as a school, but as a district, is really looking at what things have we not done before that we know are successful that we can employ during this time to get our kids and keep providing our kids the supports they need. This is going to apply as well in what we do to prepare them social emotionally, as well as behaviorally, to be able to go on into high school. Okay, do we have any questions on the YouTube chat?
We don't, but I actually had a call from a student.
Sweet.
And they might have missed the first time when you answered this, but they want to know when they can come to the school to meet their teachers.
Okay, well, so the actual coming to the actual school to meet their teachers, if it were up to everybody who is in this meeting, who is on YouTube watching, and I'm pretty willing to bet pretty much everybody on the planet, or at least in this country, it would be tomorrow. Actually, no, it'd be in about an hour. But that's just not the reality where we're at right now. It would not be until stage B that we would actually physically be able to meet our teachers. But that being said, as we talked about before, we are going to have you're going to have the opportunity to meet your teachers. It'll be virtual, but you're going to get to meet your teachers, and you're going to get to actually meet the school community and learn what it is to be a Timberwolf and part of OBJH. That is our commitment to you. We are working on that. Please know that that is going to happen. But with regards to actually meeting your teachers face to face, again, if we could do it tomorrow, we'd do it tonight. But we can't right now. So it really won't be until stage B before that will happen. That's a great question. Thank you. Okay, on the email line, I do not have a question right now. Do you have anything on phone or on YouTube chat?
I don't.
Okay. So we're getting about 9 minutes left. So let me go ahead and say that we recognize that the opening of the 2020-2021 school year is unlike any other we have ever experienced. And there are students and families may be experiencing added stress and anxiety about the unknown. We want you to know that our staff is working on ways to help our students feel supported and connected, not only to our staff, but to each other. Our school counselors are a great resource. Folks, they really are. They really are. They're a great resource. If you have questions or concerns and will be available, they will be available starting Wednesday, August 19th. I'm going to give you their information verbally. Please know that we will get this out to you. And if you want, just shoot me an email and I will get it out to you as soon as we're done here. But here is their information. Your 7th grade counselor this year is going to be Miss Stacy Adams, and her email is SA, D as in dog, A, M as in Michael, S, at sheltonschools.org. And her number is going to be 360-426-7991. And then the extension for her office is 15013. I'm going to give you the numbers to contact their phones, but please do understand that while we are in stage A, the school is closed. People will be working from home, so email is going to probably be the best way to contact. with the exception of the school line, which you can call there and that will be answered. And if it's not, please leave a message. Your 8th grade counselor is Miss Megan Smith. Her email is M as in Michael, L as in Larry, S as in Sam, M as in Michael, I, T as in Tom, H at sheltonschools.org. And her number is the same as Miss Adams with a different extension. So it's 360-426-7991 and extension 15014. And that number 360-426-7991, that is actually the main school line. That's where you're going to call if you want to call us with questions or ways that we can support you. And once we are back in stage B and moving into stage C, once we're in stage B, that's where you would probably have most success with using those numbers and extensions to contact teachers and counselors. But for right now, the email is going to be probably the best way. I just had, I think, 2 emails come in. Let me pull those up real quick. So I have a question from Denise. It says, I'm just getting in late. Will my student need to be online for the whole 7 hours? I thought I caught something about 4 classes. If my student doesn't do well online, would it be possible to work with the school so that he could do 1 or 2 classes online and then work with paper packages or a book? Okay, so my understanding, yes, we're going to have a full school schedule, but we're not expecting the kids to be online the full time, is my understanding. It's certainly not constantly doing math, science, and social studies and English language arts. We're going to build in other activities in there. Again, like we talked about earlier, the idea of supporting kids socially, emotionally, as well as providing them, skill sets to be able to deal with situations that are going to encounter that one needs to know as we're moving up in age and in grade. Ms. Neely, would you like to talk a little bit about the question with regards to if the student is not doing well online, will there be the possibility of having 1 or 2 classes where they could work with paper packages or a book?
No, if it's a complicated answer.
Sure.
If the student is struggling with the online work, then the teachers are going to wrap extra care around that student so they can work with the online work. Paper and pencil is not something that we want to go to. That creates all sorts of problems for the child. Getting things back, making sure they keep all the paperwork with them, not having direct instruction. Just having a packet alone is not instruction. It's just a list of assignments you have to do. So therefore, we're going to wrap every bit of care that we can around a student who struggles with being online. Then the second part to that is, what about kids who they don't have internet, they're in a dead spot or a dead zone, and there's no way to get it. Then we will have to do some paper and pencil work. However, again, there will be more care wrapped around those kiddos because just giving them a bunch of assignments is not instruction. So we have a lot of different ways to tackle it. We will be tackling it with a lot of people and a lot of outreach to folks. So one thing I can say is, if you see a phone call coming in from the Shelton School District, please answer it, because it's more than likely a teacher or a counselor, somebody calling to help. So you should be aware of that too. And sometimes we use the Google phone system too. So it might be a number you don't recognize or that might not be listed. Take the chance, answer the phone. If it's somebody you don't want to talk to, hang up. But it might be us calling to do that extra care with the students. Each situation is different and it's individual. And again, if we have a 504 issue or a student who has an IEP and needs some special things, we're here. We're going to be addressing those. Please don't give up. Reach out to people. Everybody's email is online right now. Director of Special Ed, I'm on there. Mario's on there. Marianne's on there. Like, we're there. So please reach out.
Okay, thank you. So time-wise, we have about 2 minutes left. I will tell you that I have 3 emails. To those of you who email, please know that I will reply. Please give me until tomorrow to reply to you. So we will get you an answer. And then if we have phone calls that came in, we can get contact information to get back to those individuals. With the time we have left, YouTube chat would be the one that would be most difficult to get contact information on. So do we have any questions there as we close?
No, we don't.
Okay. So we need to make sure that, as we mentioned earlier, we have multiple community forums from different schools going on. I know that Ms. Marshall and Ms. Neely may have to attend one later on this evening. I want to close by saying this. It really is a great opportunity to be able to speak with you today. And I want to let you know what I've shared with the teachers. And that is that in this time, especially in this time, flexibility and understanding. And that's really what I'm asking teachers and what they're asking of me and what we're going to be asking of everybody. But understand this, we are here. We are here not just for the forums. We are here anytime that you need us to ask questions, to get clarifications. And please do know that we're going to do our best. And if that requires making modifications, doing things differently, we will. But we really are committed to you guys. And we thank you so much, not only for joining us, but entrusting us with the education of your children, not just the academic, but the whole learner. So with that, I'll say thank you. Those of you who have emails, you will get replies from me by tomorrow. We will get phone call. Those who called in, we will get you replies. And we hope you will join us for our next one, which will be next Thursday, August 20th from 5 to 6 p.m. I will send out reminders again via school messenger. I will do the robocalls, and every day I'm learning something new, folks. So I will have more ways of getting things out to you. I thank you for your patience and your understanding. And I look forward to not only seeing you at the future forums, but also seeing you very soon, hopefully, in school physically. But we will see you virtually for now. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Good night.